Congressman Ed Perlmutter takes Colorado by surprise, saying he's not running for governor and not running for re-election. That was a month ago. We're going to talk to him about this decision now that he's had time to mull it over. Also, big changes are coming to Denver International Airport. We're asking what inconveniences we'll have to put up with during the remodel and why the price tag is nearly $2 billion. I'm Ann Trujillo, and welcome to Politics Unplugged.
You know, when you get elected, you have a contract with the folks you represent. And I thought I could do it all. Well, I'm telling you right now in front of all of you, I can't.
That was Congressman Perlmutter last month when he was announcing that he had made the hard decision to not only pull out of the governor's race, but that he would not be running for re-election next year. Well, Congressman Perlmutter is here with us today. Thank you for being here. You're smiling now that you see that clip. Why?
Well, I feel a lot more energy than I had a month ago. And, you know, I bit off more than I could chew, wanting to be a good member of Congress and serving the people of Jefferson County and Adams County, you know, raising the kind of money that you have to raise to be competitive, and getting around our state, which is a big darn state, and introducing myself to it. And I realized I couldn't do all of those things. And it was humbling and embarrassing, but it's what it was. And so I made the decision not to pursue the governor's race. And I've had a lot of people ask me to reconsider running for the House. I'm listening to that, but I'm also looking at what my options might be.
So you might still run for re-election?
I'm listening to the people who've asked me to reconsider.
What's holding you back?
I've served for a while, and I kind of wanted to see what other opportunities are out there. But on the other hand, you know, I've loved serving the people of our state, and I love the kinds of topics we work on, whether it's aerospace issues of getting our astronauts to Mars, or, you know, building a new VA hospital and having to deal with all of the hurdles that we had to overcome. But you know, it's a way to give back to our community. And it's been a great state for the Perlmutter family, and that's an important thing for me.
Do you have a date in your mind as to when you will decide what you will do, if you will run for re-election?
No. I wanted to take August off and just kind of enjoy my family and, you know, do a number of things, you know, whether it's some ceremonies we have to present pins to Vietnam vets, you know, work on, I had a big conference where we were talking to the Colorado Association of Commerce and Industry. So there are a number of things that I'm doing as part of my office, but also wanted to spend some time with my kids, with my wife. She and I went out and played 9 holes of golf yesterday. So, you know, taking advantage of Colorado in the summertime. You
had also mentioned a month ago the shooting at the baseball game in Steve Scalise. What did that do to you?
Well, you know, we've had more than our fair share of sort of mass shootings here, Columbine and Aurora. And I had a good friend, another Congresswoman, Gabby Giffords, and then Steve Scalise, another friend. And so it made me, you know, stop and take stock of my life and of my family and of all the good things that I have. And the fact was that I was hardly home between being in Washington and then running for governor, and to do the things to introduce myself to somebody in Grand Junction or in Lamar or wherever it might be. And I could see, you know, that I needed to, you know, look at the things that were where I had so many blessings.
Sure.
And spend some time focusing on those.
And the governor's race has gotten really crowded. I mean, that had to have played a role to some degree.
The governor's race was the primary side, because there are good Democrats who've jumped into that race, and there were 4 plus me. Now there's 5 with Donna Lynn having sort of expressed
just on the Democratic side.
Just on the Democratic side. On the Republican side, there's that many, if not more.
Right.
and it was complicated. And you know, I've had a tough primary before, when you're trying to distinguish yourself from your friends. And so
like Jared Polis.
Like Jared, like Kerry, like Mike Johnston, like Donna Lynn. Noel Ginsburg I just got to meet, but from a policy standpoint, we all pretty much, you know, look towards the future, want to make sure that this country really helps everyday Americans, you know, provide opportunities for themselves and their families. And then it starts getting more personal, because the policies are generally alike. So all those things added up. It was time for me to say no.
Are you okay with that decision now?
Yes, I am. So I've felt a lot better about that decision. There certainly are moments of sadness, you know, thinking about it, because I love this state, and I would have loved to have led this state. But on the other hand, you know, woulda, coulda, shoulda. So.
So on that list, what are the things? What are the things in Colorado we need to deal with right now? I mean, you have great insight. You grew up here. You've raised your family here.
Well, so
this is your home.
With the excellent economy that we've enjoyed, you know, come the side effects of housing prices that are too high for our children, and you know, roads that are, you know, clogged from early in the day to late in the day. Now, the West Slope doesn't face those same things, but certainly here in the I-25 corridor, we do. So infrastructure is a key element. Housing is a key element. I think education is obviously, whether you're going to a four-year institution or even community colleges, kids have some debt coming out, and we need to make sure that we're providing opportunities, whether it's trade schools or two-year certificates or four-year college degrees, that it isn't so expensive and they don't have a big burden when they come and want to get out and develop their careers.
So that they can be able to go to the moon someday, right? Because that is one of your...
We'll probably first go to the moon, but the goal is to get to Mars by...
to Mars. I can't believe I said the moon.
2033. Yes. So 2033, and it's just not an arbitrary date. That's when the orbits of Mars and Earth are very close, and it saves months and months of travel time. Wow. So, you know, we have a big aerospace industry in this state. Lockheed is sort of leading this mission of getting our astronauts to Mars. It'll end up being a public-private partnership. We're going to have international partners, but we need to get going, because I think Americans and humans generally like to explore. And it's time for us to get out there.
We have 30 seconds left.
Okay.
What is it that you want to say to Coloradans about Ed Perlmutter, what the big decisions you just made, and what's next for you?
Well, what I want to say is, you know, the Denver Post used to have on its masthead, "'Tis a privilege to live in Colorado." And I think for all of us, we really need to enjoy the blessing we've got by living in this state. It doesn't matter whether you're in Grand Junction or you're in Holyoke or you're in Denver, Colorado. We are envied by a lot of people, not only in this country, but around the world, because we live in such a great place. And I want to continue to, you know, do my best to make sure people can understand the blessing they have and enjoy it.
Well, we will keep watching to see what it is that you decide for the next next stage of your career. Thank you, Ed Perlmutter. We appreciate it. We'll be right back.